Welcome to another episode of the Growth Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Danny, who is going to be telling us about himself and his journey of growth. And let's get into it. So, welcome, Danny.
Thank you, so.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
So, tell us just a little bit about yourself and, who you are.
Okay, my name's Denny. Well, my nickname's Denny. My real name's Denelson. But I was born and raised in Fresno. My parents immigrated here in 98 or 97. Can't remember correctly. Growing up was okay for the most part. We didn't really come from money or anything. My parents, they did whatever they could to help support us.
Yeah.
Like growing up as a kid, there'll be some times where we didn't really have a meal in the mornings.
Yeah.
Or in general, I would always lie and tell my parents oh, I'm not hungry, you guys should eat and stuff like that. Even though there'll be one or two nights where I was hungry.
Yeah, man.
But it sucks. But after a while, I get to learn my parents sacrifice a lot of stuff for me to be here and to have a better life.
And if you want,
Mm-hmm.
where did they immigrate from? I just want to clarify. If you don't want to answer any of the questions I ask you, just tell me, and I can, we can
my
talk about something
mom
else.
came from Puebla, a state of Mexico near down south. And my dad came from a state of Colima. It's on the west coast.
Okay. And how old were they when they got here?
My dad was 20, and my mom was, I believe, 18.
So pretty young. And then they had you a couple of years later?
Oh, a couple months later.
A couple months later? Okay. Cool. So, so tell me, a little bit about yourself, your life, what your interests are,
So most of my interests are usually, right now, trying to be, more active and fit. Back then, I was kind of getting in a depressed state where I just didn't want to leave my room, leave the house, or do anything. I just rot in bed, eat, sleep, and do whatever. But my girlfriend was
that in high school?
No, this was a recent, within 6 months.
Yeah.
I didn't notice I started to have that habit until my girlfriend started telling me hey, something's wrong. You're not yourself. It's oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I was asking I'm trying to I need to try to find a gym that helps me basically just how do you say, just help me get me motivated to make me want to go out and do stuff rather than just
So was there a life event that kind of made you depressed or were you a happy kid, and then something happened? Because so I'll tell you a little bit about my own experience. I've gone through two major episodes where I've been I wasn't doing well. I was depressed, and it happened to me later in life, in my, I guess, late 30s. The first time it happened, and I had some family issues happen and come up, and I think I know what you're talking about, where you're just you're always tired, I was I didn't want to get out of bed and that kind of thing, but there was an event that kind of worked me up to get to that place. So I'm just wondering if that was your experience.
For me, no, it just came out of nowhere. It slowly started getting there. To the point where I didn't notice it. At a time, every now and then I would like to go skateboarding, do whatever that. But I just got tared or lazy and just didn't want to do it. So gradually over time, I just started eating a lot more, more unhealthy foods, eating out more, and not really making like good choices when it comes to eating.
Yeah.
And I just got tired, sluggish, and I just didn't want to do nothing. And from there, my girlfriend, like I said, my girlfriend just started noticing like the small things. It's like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's going to affect our relationship if this keeps happening. So I just going to need to start improving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess has the gym or so I think we didn't mention this. We're both part of the RDC gym.
Yes.
We go there in the mornings, and so has the gym helped you?
No, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
It gives me more energy and helps me like lose a lot more weight. And mostly keeps me active. That's what I like doing because I don't like being like sitting down and doing nothing all day.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm wasting time that I could have been doing something better
Yeah.
to like help improve.
Okay. And then I know that you shared that you work at FedEx, right?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been working there?
I've been working there for about 3 years now.
Okay.
For the most part, it's all fun and everything. But there'll be times where it's just like heavy, like packages
Yeah.
not package, but like my trucks would be like super packed to the point where I could barely like grab stuff through the middle and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's like it's fun and weird.
You like the job?
Yeah, I like the job mostly because it's keeps me active.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
before FedEx, I used to do construction with my dad for about 3 to 4 years
Yeah.
before they let me go.
Okay. You didn't like doing that?
No, I like doing construction. The main reason why I did it is because growing up, my dad would always be out of town for work because it would pay a lot more than rather like staying in town.
Doing construction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if he was here, he would probably be making like $20, $25 per hour. And if he was like out of town, let's say like Oakland, San Francisco, or anywhere in the north, he'll be making like double that, like 40 to 50 an hour. So yeah, might as well just do that and just keep me in shape. But the problem with that was I would be leaving Monday at 2 in the morning and wouldn't be back until like 12. Not 12. I wouldn't be back until like Friday sometime in the afternoon. Then do that all over again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun for the most part, but it just sucked when it came to relationships because I didn't have time to.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So it sounds like your relationship. Have you been with your girlfriend for all this time, or?
No, I've been with my current girlfriend for about almost 10 months.
Okay. Okay.
Almost coming up in 10 months.
Okay. But it sounds like you value your relationships. Like
Yeah, I value my relationship because my goal in life, like for me, a wasteful life for me means like me not being able to like start a family or have,
Yeah.
basically like something for me to help support or be there.
Yeah. So you want to be a dad.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I always value of having like installing values I had growing up
Yeah.
into like my kids or like family. that
Yeah.
I had.
And what are those? What values did your parents, instill in you growing up?
Most of the values they've taught me were just to be honest, try to commit to stuff that you said, and just don't. What was that other one? Just basically don't. Sorry.
No, man, take your time.
Basically, just don't.
Those two, I mean, trying to commit to, to something that you said you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge. I'm a big believer of, I think somebody once said, half of life is just showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you say you're going to do something, because I feel like, whoever, crosses your path in life, you want to be dependable. You want to, do what you said you were going to do for them or with them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think that's huge part of life, because I've also come across people who are flaky, and that doesn't, you kind of, you can't count on them. It's not like they're bad people. I don't think they're, that I'm not trying to say anybody who's somewhat flaky is a bad person.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, when you are flaky, then people are going to not count on you, and that will impact, your life. So I think that's huge. And what was the other one you said?
Basically commit to what you're going to say and don't use people.
Yeah. And you said, you also mentioned something about being honest. Like Yeah. No, I think those are, huge.
Yeah.
Both. they sound simple, but you know, I have often found that, you know, if you want to consistently show up, or if you want to consistently be honest, it's not at all easy. It's easy to say. It's another thing to do. So I respect both of those values a lot. Okay, so do you have any siblings?
I have 2 brothers and a half sister.
Okay.
Like growing up, it was always just me and my 2 brothers, but my half sister was born in Mexico, so I didn't really like have that much time to interact with her in person or through calls, because either I would be busy with school or I'd be busy with work or doing something completely different.
Okay.
And I didn't realize I had a half sister up until I was 12, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I just never asked him, because one day I showed up to school and asked him, "Oh, like, who are you talking to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm talking to your sister." And I just looked at her like, "Oh, I have a sister?" It's like, "Yeah, her name's Monza, and she's like 2 years older than you." It's like, "Oh shit, I did not know that."
How did that make you feel?
I was surprised, if anything, because I didn't know I had like another sibling.
Yeah.
But I've managed to talk to her in recent years. She recently moved here, and it's kind of weird.
Because you didn't grow up with her?
That, and yeah, mostly because I never grew up with her, because like we didn't have nothing in common. We didn't like talk or do anything. Because for the most part, I always like I always try to keep my own personal business to myself and don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I just like keeping to myself for the most part.
Okay.
But it's just weird.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I could see what you mean. It's also like you grew up here and she grew up in Mexico. So there's probably that cultural difference a little bit too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And now are your 2 brothers younger than you?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember their age. One's 24 and the other one's 23.
So you guys are all pretty close in age?
Yes.
Okay.
Our parents had us like basically back to back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we could all grow up with each other and to make it easier.
Okay. Cool. And I guess all your family lives in the Central Valley, or?
Yeah, I have a lot of family that's in Fresno. I have some family that's in Tulare, Oakland, LA, and just around
California. Nice. Okay. So I guess my next question is, what makes you tick? Like, what is it that, you're like, when you get up in the morning or throughout your day, what is it that gets you excited and motivated to be alive?
I'd want to say a plan, because every time I wake up, I always try to think of what I'm gonna have to do today. What I'm gonna have to, basically what plan. Because I always like to try to plan like my day, see what I have to do, and just check throughout the list that I have to do.
Okay. Have you always been like that?
No, just recently I've started trying to make it like a plan for the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just did the usual, just show up to work, do my job, go home, relax, and do whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like having a plan at least for me, as I've gotten older, has become more important. Because, I mean a plan for your day, right? Like, because it kind of keeps you consistent and working to. And I think a big part of growth is consistency. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing between this time and this time, it really helps me to accomplish that. Otherwise, it's kind of, I think I attended a class once and the guy said that, what did he say? He made a distinction between goals and dreams, and goals were things that you had a plan for, and dreams were basically the same thing that you want to achieve, but you don't have a plan for it. And so I feel like plans are definitely needed. And at this point in life, what does growth look like for you? Like, what is it? What are you thinking about in terms of growth? You said, you mentioned, at some point you want to have a family and have children. I get that, but is there anything else that growth like means to you right now, given you were feeling down a little, at this moment in time, what does growth mean to you?
To me, growth mostly means of trying to improve my life, either like living situation physically or just financially, just growing to be in a better state than I am right now. Because my end goal is basically just try to live in a ranch and just do everything like self-sufficient rather than having to rely on basically the government. But I just like the idea of just like having my own farm, planting my own vegetables, and just picking everything.
So tell me more about that. What gets you excited about having your own ranch and being self-sufficient? So you want to, produce your own electricity, possibly? Is that, So tell me what you envision. So if somebody came in here and said, there was a genie and said, "Hey, I'll make you your dream ranch," what would your order be? What and tell me a little bit about why.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Yeah. So, so in terms of because I feel like what you're talking about is something that other folks I've had discussions similar to this one, where other folks have mentioned a similar desire to live somewhere, be self-sufficient, that kind of thing. So my question is, what would you want your living situation to be like in an ideal world? Let's start there. Like, what would that ranch be like?
For the most part, just relaxing and quiet. Because I don't like the city that much. Because you always hear like police sirens, fire trucks, and all that stuff. Like, it just gets annoying and just bothers me a lot. And just like this quiet, just is relaxing in some way.
Okay. And then, is there anything specific that you want to be self-sufficient about? Right? Like, or it's just more the solitude and the, being kind of a little bit removed from urban life.
Probably the solitude, the most part, because I always found it like relaxing for the most part whenever like I'm alone and I'm productive, rather than being just at home with super loud and doing nothing. Because it's more like somewhat therapeutic of being productive or just working on stuff.
And so when you're alone and you have that solitude, what do you like to work on?
Mostly I mostly like to read for the most part. When I'm just have no time to do anything, when I have time to do anything, I just like to grab books, read whatever like I find interesting and stuff like that.
What do you read about?
It varies. For the most part, one book that I'm reading right now is Jaws, like the movie.
Yeah.
I just like to read like certain books either that were adapted by film, books that were made into films or books that are trying to become films. So I know what stuff are being left out. So whenever I watch like the movie, like I see like, oh, they left this part, they added this part, they could change this. To just like to compare.
Interesting. Interesting. And have you always been in, or are you? I guess you like movies.
I am. I'm a huge movie fan.
Okay.
I always like to try to watch news when it comes to like films being produced or films that are in the making.
Okay. Have you ever thought about like working in that industry?
I've thought about it, but It's hard, but I always thought about like trying to think of like a script or a project to do something involving films. Because
Yeah.
mostly gravitate like towards horror movies.
Yeah.
Since A, it's like the most cheapest things to produce, and two, it's more entertaining, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. My wife is somewhat into, I call them scary movies.
Every time people say like scary movies, I just think about the comedy movies that they made back in
Yeah.
2000.
I know what you're talking about. Okay. That's pretty cool. So we were talking about, growth. And so you're saying, okay, you try to improve physically or financially, because you want to live on a ranch. And so I guess as far as like physical growth is, is the gym, your main source of, trying to move in that direction?
Yeah, it helps out a lot more than my job, mostly because I became a lead driver at FedEx.
Yeah.
Like within this year, and for the most part, there'll be some days where I do work and other days I don't. And whenever I don't, I just like stay home, read, or just clean around the house, and it just gets boring. Just like staying home, doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of the financial, so before I get into that, have you ever thought about like continuing with education, or maybe going to school for something that's related to the movie business, or etc.?
I've mostly been looking to going to like some sort of a trade school.
Okay.
To mostly help me out when it comes to like a better way of earning a finance.
Yeah.
Because my brother was telling me about his friend that I forgot what was specifically like working on gents, like doing the maintenance and doing the whole I forgot what was all like. It's mostly maintenance and the systems. For us, like checking, make sure everything's good.
For jets?
Yeah.
Okay. Like fighter jets, or?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it was like fighter jets or just like private jets.
Okay.
But I always find that interesting because I like doing things with my hands. I'm not really more of a book learner. I'm more like a visual and hands-on learner.
Yeah.
Because the moment I started doing stuff, I learned from my mistakes and try to improve from it.
Yeah.
So if I do something wrong the next time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catch myself doing this and work on it better.
Okay. And did you, or do you have any plans to do that, or?
No, yeah, I'm planning on doing it.
Okay.
Mostly because mainly because like I know FedEx is only like I can only do that job for a certain amount of time before my body starts to break down and starts to hurt a lot more than it is right now.
Yeah.
There'll be some days where I'm like tired and I just want to like go into like an ice bath and just be there like all day, and others where I'm just like bored.
What gets through a day when you're working? Like, what does that day look like for you?
It just mostly looks like looking on ground cloud. Basically, just tells like all the reports for like the trucks, how many packages we have, and stops for each truck has.
Yeah.
And we just I just review through all of them, just make sure to see like, oh, okay, this truck's heavy. I'm gonna have to pass by that truck, see if that truck will need, if the driver is gonna need like help like loading, or he's gonna leave stuff behind so we could take it with us on a separate truck to help out like the drivers and all that stuff. But for the most part, mostly everyone takes their stuff, and I just don't really worry about that much.
So a FedEx truck gets packed in the morning. You're like, and they have to do all their deliveries, and they don't come back to like home base in between, or? No,
we just load the truck in the morning, and from there we just start delivering. And once we're done, we just go home afterwards. And that's unless we ask like one of the drivers, hey, could you like help this driver out? He's behind, or could you help him with this pickup? He needs to get off early.
Okay.
And for the most part, it's like, like workday mostly like 6 hours because everyone like finishes fast.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But it's just you have to at each stop basically unload a package, which could be heavy.
Yeah, it's worse when it comes to like having to deliver like a 6-piece furniture setup, but like a second floor apartment complex or a third.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, it sucks when it comes to that. I know, especially coming this November, there's a bunch of people going to be ordering like stuff for like Black Friday, like furniture, like Christmas gifts and all that stuff. So it's going to be busy.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what trade or so something more mechanical is what you're thinking, or
Yeah.
Okay.
I always found it like fascinating when it comes to like mechanics, just knowing what part works and knowing what things need. I don't know how to phrase it. Basically, just knowing how everything works, knowing what part is for what and how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
And without it, like how bad or what's going to be the issue of it down the line, if it not right now.
Yeah, if you don't maintenance it, etc. Okay.
I always found it interesting for some reason.
What, maintenance?
No, like just like mechanics.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. I mean, I feel like, I think humans, we look similar, but we're all very different in our aptitudes and our interests and, abilities. And, there's people who love to think about ideas and write, and there's people who like gardening, and there's people who like mechanics, and I'm sure there's lots of folks who are like you, because the world is full of mechanical stuff that need to be designed, and so where I'm currently working, it's an aerospace company.
Oh shit!
And and there's lots of mechanical pieces that need to be designed and manufactured, and there's a lot of thinking through the design and the manufacturing of planes are really interesting machines, because there's every kind of technology you could think of goes onto a plane. So I think you would have a field day with when it comes to aerospace business. I think you would enjoy that. So in terms of your growth and financial growth specifically, what? So do you have like a concrete plan, or is there something you're working towards, or are you kind of just weighing your options at the moment, or like what is it gonna take for you to get to that ranch?
Like my concrete plan is to eventually, like I said before, just to have family, live in a ranch and all that stuff, just live like peaceful.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm asking is how do you plan to get to that point?
Eventually trying to get into like a better situation, learn more what I do now to eventually get to me there. Even if it takes, I can't talk English.
No, man, you're good.
No, but I'm eventually planning on to moving on to a better job where it's more financially rewarding for me.
Yeah.
To get to that plan.
Yeah. Okay. But you're not like completely clear on what that job may be at this moment.
Right now, no. I'm still like weighing my options on doing like that trade school. I'm still looking on to doing any type of trade school, or like going into college and seeing what subject I could learn to help me improve.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if I ask you? So I have a workshop, like I said at the beginning of our conversation that wasn't on camera. It's called Discover Your Inner Art, Be a Professional You. And I believe that everyone has something that is really their inner art. Like there's something, and your inner art is what you do all the time. Some people realize it, some people don't. But if you can figure out, what your inner art is and apply that to a certain job where you charge for it, then it's just kind of like you're just being yourself at work. So if you're cool with it, I'll ask you a couple of questions, and it might help.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So my first question is, when you were a kid, when you were, 5, 6, 7, when you were pretty young, how did you play?
Growing up, we would mostly, growing up for the most part, I would mostly be playing with my brothers. Like, we would be wrestling or just be playing like some random sport outside the house, or every now and then we'd go to our cousin's house and just play soccer or hide and seek around like the neighborhood. And for the most part, we were mostly active as
physical activities.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was fun.
And you were playing with like siblings, family. Okay.
No, there would be hardly a day where we would be like staying inside.
You were always out.
We were mostly always out.
Yeah. Okay, and then maybe. So, how old were you when you were doing this?
Probably around when I was 5 till 12, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
like
were
so young.
So you were really an active child. Okay. Okay. Do you remember what you liked about, being like that?
Mostly not having to worry about like life, like just enjoying like spending time with family and just being a kid.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So, the reason I asked you is because when you're a kid, you're kind of your most unfiltered self because you don't understand social pressures. There's no, parents are usually not telling their kids play this way and don't play that way. You just do whatever feels natural to you.
Yeah.
And kids play very differently.
No, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like some kids are really into like Legos or reading or video games or whatever. So it sort of is indicative of of your personality and what you're into. Okay, my second question is, and I'll tell you why I ask it. What are your top 3 weaknesses? And the reason I ask is the goal is not to fix any weakness.
Yeah.
It's because usually your weaknesses are the things you're really good at, but you do them at the wrong time, with the wrong person, or at the wrong place. Just not. So and I'll tell you what I mean by a weakness. A weakness is something that you really want to do that you can't do. It just doesn't materialize. Or something you want to stop doing, but you can't stop yourself. It's just it just keeps happening. And I always use this example of, I can't fix my fridge, and that's not a weakness because I don't care, right? So it has to be something you really care about. That bothers you. So this weakness is only a weakness as far as the question is concerned if it bothers you. So if you were to tell me what are your top 3 weaknesses, what would you say?
Probably,
and you can go one by one.
yeah. Probably my biggest weakness I have is like communicating, because I have a hard trouble talking about certain things or just talking in general for the most part.
Okay, let's stay there. Why is it so? What happens in your head or whatever? Like, why do you have a hard time communicating?
Well, for the most part, growing up as a kid and now, like, I just always like kept to myself. I don't like to bother people or like be an inconvenience when it comes to certain things. I always try to solve my own problems by myself.
Yeah.
And whenever I need help or anything like that, I would always reach out towards like the very end. That would be my last option rather than like my first.
Okay. So it's not that you have a hard time like articulating words. You just don't feel like you want to inconvenience anyone. So you want to be independent. You strive to be independent. Okay. So that is your strength, right? You value independence. You are independent, and you deal with your own shit. Essentially, is what you're telling me. So there's value in that, but there's always times when we do need help with something. But the goal isn't to fix anything. I'm just saying the strength in that is your independence, that you're an independent person, and yeah. So what? Any other weaknesses that come to mind?
For the most part, no. Because every time I have this type of conversation with anyone, it's the one thing that most comes up. Like my problem is most like communicating. Even when it comes to, like talking with friends, talking with coworkers, or relationship partners or anything.
Yeah.
It's always hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I was never really like that type of like just talking.
Okay.
Like just talking in general, always like kept quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you don't want to do that bothers you, or that you want to be doing but you can't get there? And take your time.
There is, but I don't know how to phrase it.
Take your time, man.
I think the best way to explain it is just trying to be there for just people, like friends, random strangers, or stuff like that.
So how is that a weakness? What is it that, is it something that you can't do, or what is it?
It's probably a bit of both, where I can't do it and I can, but I just don't either have like the time or the money to help others.
So you're saying that you feel like a weakness is you would like to be there more for whoever, loved ones, or whoever you want to be there for, but you feel like you're coming up short a little? Okay.
It's always a constant fear of mine, like always coming up short or not doing my best.
To help people, or doing your best for yourself, or what?
Bit of both.
Okay.
If I had to think about it.
Okay. So let's start with showing up for people. I mean, I feel like that's an obvious one for me. The strength is that is that's what you strive for, right? So you said you strive for independence and you strive to help people, right? Like ideally you would like to be that kind of you would like for people to see you in that way. Is that correct?
In a way, yes, but I don't like. It's kind of weird because I would want to help other people, but I don't want to basically just be like those types of people, like record themselves like, hey, I'm doing this good deed, give me likes, like have like a huge following. I just like to do things. Mostly, I'm not sure, it's mostly because it feels right, or
yeah, I guess I see what you say. Like you just want to help people.
Yeah.
If somebody asks you for some help with something, it's not like you want to boast about it and put it on Instagram. You just want to help someone.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just like kindness of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. So you're a kind person. That's it. That's kind of what you're telling me right now, right? So those are two things that you've said to me: independence and being kind, right? And you also said doing my best, right? That's another. That's not a. So if you're worried about doing your best, yeah, right? you're not. It's not a weakness. I mean, you could think about. I'm not going to tell you how to think.
No, yeah.
You could think about it however you want, but you know, if you're so to me, the three things you said are the following: you're an independent person. You're a kind person. You like to help other folks, and you strive to do your best to you know to set high expectations for yourself and achieve them. Are those
Yeah.
They seem correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, for some reason my brain works backwards. Like I can't think of stuff like on the spot.
You're
It
good,
just-
man. There's
yeah,
no, you don't need to be sorry. No, we're all, we're all different. So, okay, so what I've gotten from you so far is, as a child, you were pretty active. You like to be out there. You're an independent person. You like to help other people, and you want to do your best. And okay, so my next question is kind of simple. What do you? And I think you already mentioned, answered some of it. But what do you like doing that you actually do a lot? Like you said, reading. So, is there anything else that you like doing and you actually do a lot?
Mostly staying active.
Okay.
Because I always like strive to do stuff that involves me like being like using my hands and feet when it comes to like working construction, delivering packages, working on my lawn or stuff like that.
Okay.
I always like to be active.
Active. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Fantastic. Next question is, and I'll tell you why I ask it. The things that we notice are the things that we're in daily life are the things that we're kind of studying, right? We're learning. Like, I think I forget what it was, but you mentioned that you were talking about the movies and how you like to read the book and then watch the movie and see what's been cut out or whatever. So the question is, what are some things that get your attention, throughout your day, whether online or in the physical world? What are some things that you pay attention to?
I mostly try to pay attention to like the smaller details whenever like I'm out, because every now and then I get like anxious a lot. It's always like try to like fidget with stuff with my hand, and I just try to focus like small details, see stuff I could avoid or help when it comes to it.
Okay.
Like especially when it comes like to driving, I always try to make sure like there's no kids running across the street, or like if there's some reckless driver, try to avoid them as whenever I have a chance. Just mostly focusing on the small stuff. I don't really look at the big picture at times.
So you pay attention to details, and do you carry that into? I don't know. Do you pay attention to details of? So what kinds of details do you pay attention to? Of what? Like you just said, things that have to do with safety. Okay. Anything else?
Mostly warning and danger.
Okay.
Because there's sometimes I'm like I don't think about it up until like a couple minutes or hours later. It's like, oh, like I'm not supposed to be here. Like this is kind of sketchy, so I just better get out before, how you say, like shit hits the fan.
Okay.
So we just try to avoid stuff like that.
So you're trying to avoid danger, like you're trying to, you're like sniffing for danger.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Okay. No, that's good. Anything else?
No, just mostly those two, just safety and danger. Well, I always try to are mainly my two important things, especially when I have like friends, family, or anyone next to me.
Yeah.
I always try to. I'm mostly focused on their safety than my own safety when it comes to it. Got
it. And I think that kind of speaks to what you said earlier about, wanting to be there for people and okay. Last question. on a regular day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we have feelings. Like a simple one is you feel hungry, you eat,
Yeah.
right? What are some feelings that you have on a day where it's not, you know, nothing crazy has happened, you're not super happy, you're not super sad, you're not angry, it's a regular day. What feelings do you have that drive you to take certain actions? And you could think about this backwards too. You could be like, what do I do on a regular day? And you'd be like, okay, I read. And then you could ask yourself, what is the emotion or the motivation behind that for me? So, and if you want to, you know, think out loud, feel free.
Yeah. Probably the two emotions that mostly drive you the most is curiosity and anxiousness.
Okay. And what do those two emotions make you do? What actions do you take because of them?
Well, with curiosity, that's why I always like read, so I know more, so I can broaden my knowledge on certain things, like with books, history, movies, or like events. And from that, I just think about it and just, I don't know, I just think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And try to see if it affects my life or there's some things I could pull apart from.
Okay.
And for anxiousness or anxiety, I'm kind of like a neat freak. Always like try to have like everything clean around my house. I don't like having things to be dirty for like long periods of time, and just like, I don't know, I just like having everything clean, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. That's it. So those are the questions I wanted to ask you. These are the types of questions I usually ask in that workshop. And the goal of the workshop is to complete this sentence. The sentence is, I am always doing whatever, something, and I enjoy it. Right? And we want to kind of, you know, hone in on that, you know, fill in the sentence, fill in the blank. Exactly. Okay. So let's talk about that. So and let's sort of recap. You like being outside. You as a kid, you know, you like, and I feel like you're saying this, you're still like that. You like being active, right? You are independent. You're kind, right? And what was the last thing that you had? Oh, you have high standards or high expectations of yourself, right? You said you like to be active and read, right? And to expand your knowledge. The things you said you observe are things that have to do with safety and you know, making sure that things are okay and that you're on the lookout for danger. And the last one is, you know, you said, you know, curiosity and that you read a lot, and that maybe a little bit of anxiety, and you said
I'm just a neat freak.
Neat freak. Okay. So if you ask me, what you are doing a lot is I feel like, and let's talk about this. I feel like what you're doing is you're trying to create order in a way that is helpful to people's safety or a well-functioning kind of environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I always try to strive to either better improve myself or other people.
Yeah. But I don't think you're a coach. I don't think that's your mindset. I feel like you like to physically create order, like physical order, right? Like like making sure, you know, things are in a specific physical configuration, right? As to prevent injury, catastrophes, shit going wrong, right? You're trying to control the environment. Let me put it that way. You like to control, because I've heard that. So I think that's it. Because you said to me, you don't like the sirens. You like the peace and quiet. You want to be on a ranch. So you like to have an environment that has certain attributes, right? And those from what I'm hearing from you, that environment doesn't, the type of environment you like is one that's safe. You like you're not trying to create chaos, right? You're trying to create the opposite of chaos. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay. So where I'm going with all this is I'll tell you what I'm hearing and what my opinion is. If you were to do something where you were inspecting the safety of something or making sure that an environment or a machine or something was functioning in a safe way, that things were in order and how they're supposed to be, I think that would be kind of second nature to you.
Yeah, I would say so for them. No, you're actually pretty right about that. If I think about it like for too long, I always try to have things under control.
And that is really needed in the aerospace business. I'll tell you something. Because safety is huge. You want things to be exactly the way you want them. So anyways, that's just a suggestion. But I'm sure that it's needed anywhere where safety is a concern.
Yeah, especially like the Boeing company.
I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to say anything.
But everyone has their issues.
Yeah. So. No. Safety is a major concern and it's paramount in certain industries. So, all right, that's it. I got nothing else to ask you. Thank you for being here. Do you have any last words? Do you want to share anything?
Off the top of my head, no. But I know, like, once we're done with this, like, I'm gonna have something.
Yeah,
to
man.
Say, but right now, no. For the most part, I just want to live peacefully and just happy.
And I think you're on your path, man. You sound like you have a good head on your shoulders. You know what you want. You know your values, and I think those two values that you told me about, showing up and being honest, that your parents, instilled in you, I think that will carry you through to whatever your, dreams are. So thanks for being here. Thanks for making the time, and thanks for the book.
No problem.
All right, man.